The night I realized the numbers were lying, the hospital smelled like bleach and burnt coffee. My badge worked, the systems hummed, and everyone trusted the dashboards. That's how fraud survives. Quiet, antiseptic, wrapped in confidence until someone reads past the summary. If you care about stories where truth wins without theatrics, subscribe. Stay only if you're ready to watch patience outlast power and arrogance collapse on schedule. I didn't come to Northlake Medical to be a hero. I came because I'm good at process design, because patient safety lives or dies in the boring parts. Procurement rules, credentialing checks, inventory controls. I build systems that don't blink when people try to cut corners. My name is Elena Ward. I ran clinical operations integrity. That meant I didn't save lives with my hands. I kept other people from killing patients by accident or greed. The first inconsistency landed on a Tuesday at 6:11 a.m. during my pre-round review. A vendor invoice flagged as urgent restock for cardiac monitors. Quantity, 32. Location, West Wing ICU. I knew the ICU census by heart. They hadn't expanded beds. 32 new monitors? Didn't make sense. I pulled the receiving log. Only 16 units had been scanned in. The rest were marked direct deploy, a category that existed for emergencies, fires, floods, pandemics. None of those applied. The override required dual signatures. There was one. CEO authorization. Victor Harlan. Victor liked to talk about velocity. He'd say it in town halls like a prayer. Velocity saves lives. He said it when he slashed review cycles, when he moved purchasing under his office, when he replaced 3 senior nurses with consultants who wore sneakers to board meetings. I messaged procurement. Elena, 6:23 a.m. Can you reconcile invoice NL77821? Units received don't match billed quantity. Procurement, 6:41 a.m. Approved via executive pathway. Cleared last night. Executive pathway. The euphemism of the year. I didn't escalate. I never do first. I opened my own ledger, the one I kept for integrity testing. I logged the discrepancy and moved on. By Thursday, there were 4 more. Surgical gloves billed at triple the burn rate, infusion pumps routed through a rehab wing that hadn't existed for 18 months, all approved through the same pathway, all with Victor sign-off. At Friday's leadership huddle, he smiled at me across the table. Elena keeps us honest, he said, tapping his tablet. But remember, controls should serve care, not strangle it. A few people laughed. I didn't. Controls don't strangle care. They stop infections. That afternoon, my access to the vendor master list disappeared. I noticed because I checked my permissions weekly. When I asked IT, they said it was a role tidy. When I asked who requested it, they paused. Executive office. Victor stopped making eye contact in meetings. He started calling me detail forward. He told the COO I was overfitting edge cases. When I raised a hand during a committee review, he said, let's keep momentum. Momentum is what people say when they don't want questions. I kept logging, not out of spite, out of duty. I added timestamps, scanned PDFs, shipping manifests, badge swipes from receiving. I built a parallel trail that mirrored theirs, but didn't live on their servers. The pattern emerged fast. A shell distributor with a clean website and a P.O. box 2 states away. Prices 18 to 27% above market. Invoices approved within minutes of submission. Goods partially delivered, if at all. Payments cleared same day. Fraud doesn't scream. It repeats. On Monday, my calendar emptied. Quality review canceled, vendor reconciliation removed, patient safety council, tentative. The message from HR was cheerful. Realigning to optimize collaboration. I heard Victor in the glass conference room later that day. Elena's smart, but she's risk-obsessed. That kind of anxiety spreads. Anxiety? From the woman who double-checks ventilator filters. That night, I stayed late and pulled one more thread. Credentialing. The Shell distributor's listed compliance officer shared an IP range with Victor's personal foundation. Same registrar, same renewal date. Sloppy. I printed nothing. I shared nothing. I copied everything. On Wednesday morning, a nurse manager forwarded me an email by mistake. It was a draft announcement. Operational update, streamlining oversight. My name appeared, once, next to transitioning out. I finished my coffee and sent a single message to the hospital's general counsel, Marissa Klein. Not a warning, a delivery. Subject, vendor integrity documentation Q3. Body, Marissa attaching unaltered records related to vendor approvals routed via executive pathway, provided for record keeping. Please confirm receipt. Attachments, a compressed archive with hashes, receipts, manifests, approval metadata, and my memo, clinical impact risk assessment. I didn't CC Victor. I didn't dramatize. I let the documents speak. 2 hours later, my badge still worked, my email still worked. No one said a word. At 9 a.m. Thursday, Victor announced a confidence reset on the internet. He joked about red tape, he posted a photo from the atrium with a caption about trust. At 10:12 a.m., legal replied, received. At noon, security updated the visitor policy. At 3:30 p.m., the board called an emergency session. I wasn't invited. I didn't need to be. Friday morning, my access was revoked mid-login. Clean. Total. HR sent a calendar invite titled Transition Conversation. I declined. I packed my desk quietly. My notebook, my stethoscope I never used, the plant a patient's family gave me after a near miss we prevented. As I waited for the elevator, my phone buzzed. A text from a resident I trusted. They're asking for receiving logs from last quarter. Everyone's sweating. I went home and slept. Saturday was quiet until 7:18 a.m. when the hospital's public affairs number called me. I didn't answer. I made pancakes. I watered my plant. At 9:02 a.m., Marissa emailed again. Can you be available today? I replied with a single word. Yes. The call was short. No apologies, no praise, just facts. Did you alter any records? No. Did you share these outside legal? No. Are you willing to attest to chain of custody? Yes. Thank you. Sunday night, Victor posted nothing. Monday, 8 a.m., the hospital announced a leadership update. No names, immediate effect. At 8:47 a.m., a photo circulated in the group chats. Victor, pale, flanked by security at the executive entrance. No cuffs, no shouting, just a cardboard box and a stare fixed on the floor. 48 hours. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt relieved. Relief is underrated. By Tuesday, the Shell distributor's website went dark. Payments froze. A new interim CEO asked for a review of legacy approvals. Nurses stopped whispering. HR finally reached me. They wanted an exit interview. I told them no. They wanted to discuss a consulting arrangement. I said maybe. I wasn't angry anymore. Anger burns calories. Precision doesn't. On Wednesday, a national supplier called me directly. They'd heard my name. They had questions about controls. I answered them. They offered a contract. On Thursday, a reporter emailed. I declined. The story wasn't about me. On Friday, Marissa called again. The board wants to know if you'll help rebuild. I thought about the ICU, about the 16 monitors that actually arrived, about velocity. I'll help if procurement reports to patient safety, not the CEO, if approvals require 2 signatures that can't be overridden, if access reviews are weekly, if retaliation clauses have teeth. There was a pause. Agreed. I returned the following Monday, not as an employee, but as an external integrity advisor. My badge was temporary. My authority was not. The systems changed fast when no one was mocking them. Receiving logs reconciled daily, vendors vetted quarterly, executive pathways retired. The dashboard still hummed, but now they told the truth. People asked me how it felt to expose the CEO. That's the wrong question. I didn't expose him. I documented reality and sent it to the only place that couldn't ignore it. His own shortcuts did the rest. If you're reading this and thinking about raising your voice, don't. Raise your evidence. Build the mirror. Let the reflection do the damage. Power hates paperwork. It can't argue with timestamps. And when security walks someone out, it's never because of a single whistle. It's because the room finally decided to listen to the quiet.